Ohio Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown joining me now. Senator, great to see you. Thanks very much. Your reaction to the speech last night, how do you think he balanced the need to reach out to the center to try to get some of the Rust Belt Trump Democrats back, as well as to inspire the base and, widen the tent for progressives as well as others?
Hey, Andrea, you know how I respect you, but we don't use the term Rust Belt. We find that demeaning in our part of the country. We're not rusty. We have good advanced manufacturing, all that. I think it's not a question of Joe Biden moving to the left, and I'm clearly a progressive, and I care about all these issues. It's just that he realizes he's going to be a consequential president for workers. And you could see the contrast. They use the term dignity or dignity of work or dignity of workers throughout the convention, a number of people. And you contrast that to Donald Trump's betrayal of workers. And that's the message. And when it's workers, it's whether you punch a clock or swipe a badge, whether you work for tips, whether you're mid-level management, whether you're taking care of kids or taking care of an elderly parent. I mean, it's if you love your country, you fight for the people who make it work. And that distinction is so clear that we are the party of workers. We understand essential workers are mostly women and are disproportionately people of color. We fight for those essential workers. One essential worker, a grocery store worker, said to me during this pandemic, I don't feel essential. I feel expendable because I'm not paid well and I'm not protected at work. So Biden and Harris get that. Trump just simply is indifferent to them, as we know.
I want to ask you about our own poll, and I take your correction. It's a term that we've used in polling and in politics for a long time, but I take your correction that is a broad caricature of what those states, and I'm a Pennsylvanian by adoption, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's talk about our polling. There are NBC News Wall Street polling that whites with college degrees support Biden by 58%, to Trump by 35%. Whites without college degrees support Trump by 59% and Biden by 27%, and that President Trump has an advantage in handling the economy. Go figure, but people still feel he is better to handle the economy. How does Joe Biden narrow that gap and, in fact, close the gap completely on the economy?
Well, whether he can close it entirely is difficult, and even if he only closes the gap significantly, it's an electoral college landslide, and you win states like Ohio, you win Ohio, it's an electoral college landslide because it means we'll win Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, possibly Iowa, certainly Florida, maybe North Carolina. But put that aside. I think if you talk directly to workers, this president has betrayed workers on. He's taken overtime away from 100,000 Ohio workers, undid a rule that Obama and Biden and Secretary Perez and I did. He won't raise the minimum wage. He told workers in Youngstown, in Lordstown, don't sell your homes. These jobs are coming back after the plant closed. He didn't lift a finger to help us try to keep it. He attacked union workers yesterday at the Goodyear tire. Steel workers that make tires attack them by his attacks on that company. So we just need to point that out over and over. Trump's phony populism worked in the 2016 election, but I underscore phony populism. Voters that are paying attention can see that it was phony now. We've got to get workers' attention. It's on us to sell that message. And I'm going to be selling that message every single day in Ohio that Trump has betrayed workers. His phony populism only undermined workers. And Biden is running his campaign through the eyes of workers, will govern through the eyes of workers, and will be the kind of president that fights for the dignity of work. And that's going to come through. Whether it closes the gap to zero is not the issue. It closes the gap by 10 or 15 points. We win big. And that's our mission, and that's what we're going to succeed in doing.
Was it a mistake to have John Kasich, the former Ohio governor whom you know so well, and other Republicans, Mike Bloomberg, in a prime place last night?
No, I'm fine with Kasich. I don't like what Kasich does to workers. I don't like what Kasich does to women in terms of reproductive health. But I don't dispute. I mean, they want to reach out to Republicans. That's fine with me. I thought Bloomberg was very good pointing out what a failed businessman Trump is. Bloomberg talked about what he knew about, and that is Trump as a failed business person and as a failed leader in dealing with the pandemic. Keep in mind, we're 4% of the world's population and have suffered almost 25% of the world's deaths, not because other countries' doctors are better than ours or their public health system are, but because we have a leader that simply failed at every turn in this pandemic. So I thought that discussion was helpful. We will get Republican votes, and we're going to win back working class voters that I win in Ohio. I mean, Trump won this state by 8 points. I knew I had to get 1 out of 7 Trump voters to come back to me, and we did. And Joe Biden can too, and he will.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.